And we're live. Welcome to the Psy Tai Podcast, numero 1, 2, 4. Well, so that's 3, 7. We only on like episode 7, so we're just really starting. If you made it here, thank you for coming on through. Oh, there we go. Now it's no echo. And still thank y'all for coming on through. This is Just Ty now. Just Ty. Just think about it. TAI, not THI like the food, but we just as spicy. Just think about these things, but also combine your mind with your heart. See what your gut mind is saying. Connect all those 3 circles and let whatever come out. Presto magico. Come on out. That's how you just tie. See what's going on with everything. But everything. And I'm going to open up the Discord. If y'all want to jump in the Discord, y'all can do so right away. I only have about 40 minutes, but I want to have if anyone jump in the conversation, you hear something that rings some bells, or you hear something you want to rebuttal against, hey, we all here for it. We all here for it. But it's all in fun, all in respectful fun and informational, factual, even if it's non-factual. I'm here for it all. But while everything in the room gets filled, I actually want to play this instrumental by Currency. I know. Oh, y'all should be able to hear that. I know this. With my daughter, I put everything in the slaughter. When I tie, I can't die. I'ma always stay fly. It's solid. We got truth. We do this. It's no surprise. You just gotta open your third eye. And when you see what we doing, you gonna start be like, man, from the future. That's how they are. That's where we at. It's out there. And that's a fact. And I can go on forever. And that would just be my current weather. And the flight plan is looking clear. And when it's turbulence, I never fear. You know my dear, I got your back. Take a smoke, you know you can relax. I got one roll, it's for your soul. We on the roll, and that's how my spirit go. I stay high. We get them grants, we stay. I get high, I wave by, 'cause my worries never gonna stop. Climbing up, I'm on that mountain, and all my friends I'm counting, 'cause the connections that we make are the best. You can't fake that. Let me share this. And what else we know? We try to stick that to And what else we know? We try to stick to that so we can grow. But is that how it let it just fly by and play out. Ain't no time. All right, all right. Now we can start. Now we can continue the journey. Continue the journey. Once again, thank everyone for coming on through. This is Psy Tai Podcast. Discord link is in the description. Is in the chat box if you want to come on and talk and rebuttal or tag along or anything. Just the doodly do. And it's about God who, God who? God who? God who? A lot of us don't even go to the side of why would God be a who as opposed to a what? Or as opposed to a is. Just how, as opposed to a is. What is God? Where did this word even come from? The connotation of what a God means. Where does that come from? Just how. It's God. God. God is when it comes to a lot of people's minds, it's control, it's something otherworldly that has control here, or it's an essence, it's a presence. But what like the word God, period, has started many wars, just like how words always do. Hey Exile, hey Exile 13. Let me get so it can pop up. Oh, doo doo. Chat is disabled for the stream. No, it's not. Sorry for the little intermission, everybody. Gotta get everybody in there. Yeah, yeah. And the isness and everything. But when something becomes a isness, the world of separation, how we use words and stuff, a lot of wars been fought over this word God. That's what turned me atheist a long time ago. See how Muslims were, how you say, Muslims would use it for suicide bombings to convince themselves that it was worthwhile and things like that, or how Christianity had the Crusaders and things. And then you see that that's how it just always been. Like when it was villages and things like that, they had their gods that they worshipped in their village. And then the Jews came along, they monotheism compared to the polytheism of multiple gods that the multiple villages had. You go to one village, they worship this. Go to another village, they worship that. so, but I don't think it was ever on like terms of this is what God promised me or something like that. I think that's some Abrahamic religion stuff. Some Abrahamic conquistador type stuff eventually. In other words, they probably said that my God is going to strengthen me so I can go at war with your God. But in the term of Christianity and Abrahamic religions, like the Abrahamic God, the religions that stem from that God, all the world major religions, they have it so that it's like one God, and then anything else is not God. Like anything else you even bring up or try to talk about, it's a whole stature, a whole um a whole booklet as to why that is not it and this is it. Instead of like how we were saying exile earlier, instead of it being just the isness, the isness. And these are just my experiences. This was tying the tail end off of an awesome podcast. Check out True Life Stories, the one that was on yesterday. We was up late with it. Yeah, was that yesterday? Yeah. I say, is that 2 days ago? But yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, but it was a lot of cool commotion going on and back and forth and feeling like this and feeling like that about the definition of God. Because now let me say my point of view. I was witnessing a new culture arise in our time and age of all of these cool things that psychedelics are doing for us or do for a particular person, and having that thought process be on how their experiences are channeled through purely a purely sentient definition of how things are or how things should be, even if it switches up, like saying that God was the molecule, that God is the psychedelic particle. And this would turn a lot of heads because this would get people interested in psychedelics in the first place a lot. Like, oh, wow, the God molecule, DMT, the spirit molecule. That's the whole documentary named with Alex Gray, and they testing the doctors and stuff like that. The spirit molecule, all these words, all these keywords, and we get into it. And for me, I love that we're always going to think about everything wholeheartedly. Say this is true, like us as a human species. It's things that I hold on true. It's things that other people hold on true. But it's let me just say, let me talk from my pure faction voice. It's cool to see that somebody would take a Christian concepts and apply it to the direct experience of a psychedelic experience. When for most people come back with an unknown statement, and for me see like how everything makes sense. So to see that something is branching off, I see it as a sense of security which is how we build reality in the first place. Off of security. If you secure about something, you got four walls around you secure. Build the shelter, something around you, feelings, a personality, anything that will allow us to even believe in things in the first place. I believe I gotta talk English. Like I gotta talk. I'm like, man, I talk English. What are you talking about? I was raised English. When the voices was talking to me, it was in English. English is the true language. English. Learn to speak English. I don't gotta learn your language. That's the metaphor that popped up in my head on language. Like it's that same feeling for me applied to the God concept and the God molecule in the particle because all the pointers will point to having me think like that or have a person think like that with the Dead Sea Scrolls and the third person as opposed to the second two that went off board and said, hey man, they really talking about mushrooms. And what language do we laugh in? I know, Exile, good one. Good one. What language do we laugh in? We all understand when somebody laughing. Laughing, smiling. Yeah, language. So I think it's and I was just thinking Exile earlier to myself. I was thinking about how I used to say in school that English was my second language. I say even though I don't know any other languages fully, it feels like English is my second language. And then I'm growing older and getting more adapt to these experiences as and my experiences and worldly and other and stuff like that. The magicianship that the power that I could wield is wild. That I was seeing that kind of thing as a kid. Like language was my English was my second language. Because the first one was I guess was the feeling, was the heart, was the that essence. And I was so in I'm just breaking myself. I'm talking about myself. I was so in tune with that growing up that I that everything else always seemed secondary. Yeah. And I think a lot of us like that. A lot of us are. Just tying. Just tie, just tie, just tie. But when it comes to saying this is that and that is this, that's why I go live as much as I can. I go live as much as I can because one day I'm going to say this, one day I'm going to say that. Another day I probably cover up and say, "Oh, I said that," and I probably now I feel like this. Like go back 4 or 5 years ago when I was posting videos. But you see, it's all interconnected and everything. And that's the big story about witnessing. And sometimes you do get out in the flames, you do get out in the melding pot and say a couple words. Like I got in the melding pot, it was Leviathan talking to Just a Messenger on True Life channel. And he was like adamant as trying to get the other person to see his point of view that you are just seeing that just what it was just seeing a point of view. That's was Leviathan point of views by giving multiple examples and things like that. And then we see in the just a messenger come up with even more evidence and more life experiences for why he chose to say the words that he was choosing to say out of his mouth. It was awesome because everybody was right. Everybody had the pieces of the puzzle to present. And it's like it's always a show that we putting on. And it's why sometimes I don't mind being part of the show. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm seeing us as human beings and us rising up. And now it's this culture popping up that's making a religion out of this aspect of life, things like that. So I could have still stepped back because everybody was saying everything I was thinking, but then it's like we still got some things that we can play and have some fun on the stage. It's entertaining, it's fun. It may seem extreme in these circumstances of debating or having ideas pit against each other, even if it gets heated up at times, but it's all as the psychedelics taught me and in my spiritual experiences, it's a game. It's all a game. And as you see how sometimes we get so mad at games and people be laughing at people throwing the controller at the TV. That's for life. That is life for many people right there. That's why people that did that went viral. Even if you're making fun of it, you felt it in some type of way. uh, hold on one second. I'm talking fast because I only got a half hour left. And I have to go pick up my daughter from dance school. And then we can go live again later, anything like that. But yeah, they were talking and talking and getting on the stage and being brave enough and having the audacity to be on the stage to talk, to have a conversation, even if it feels like you're only picking a part of your mind to talk. Because most people with expansive minds have so many perspectives that know that just because you said one thing don't mean that everybody gonna get what you're saying, because we paint pictures with our words. That's what you get. We painting pictures, and we can't be sometimes. I can't be afraid sometimes to not be afraid to paint a picture real quick. Paint a picture. People gonna get different interpretations of that picture, and then the wise ones, or yeah, the wise ones are the ones seeing with their eye. However, it relates for you to know what I'm talking about. They will be able to say, "Oh, well, he was just acting like this to get this across, and it was matching up with this vibe at this, and is matching up with the tone of that in order to convey life." To convey life. It's like it was no other way but to seem like it was a couple screws loose here and there. No matter how put together it is. Like you take off, it's like you see a screw pop off the space shuttle. It's like, oh, no, we're still gonna make it. We're still gonna push through. That's life. That's life. And it was interesting. I was looking up the etymology of the word God because I brought up the actual word God, and that use of it, and it was used a lot. It was actually from a Dutch family back in the past named Groot. Groot. It sounds like I'm saying the tree. Let me look it up for y'all. God etymology. Uh, Dutch guy. Oh, Goot or Gut, however you pronounce that word. Well, that was a family surname, so I found that pretty interesting, and it's German, not Dutch. Kind of it should already be purple because I clicked on it, but I just don't. Yeah, they saying ways they use it now as a greeting and things like that. They see the origin comes from that. So they greet each other through like, "Hey God," like, like how King Gods and be doing like, "Hey God," like, "What's up, man?" Because God is a human thing. Period. To me, it's a is thing. It's like anything beyond that, we don't got words for it. Once we get back in the human brain, can we even conceive it enough to put it into a picture? Like I was thinking back about how people didn't used to have lyrics back in the day all the time. They had psalms. They had psalms now that I see about that. Spells and little chants and folklores about stories and spirits and stuff. But I think it was a lot more instrumental music back in the day. So people was painting their own words and visions over top of what was going on a lot more instead of being told about what's going on or having a picture to reflect off of, like to make it a little easier. Like instead of being carried away, somebody being manifested to carry them away, to carry a person away. I like it though. I like but yeah, let's get off of that. I'll come back to what I was trying to get to. So for a lot of people, especially in the psychedelic space, hearing hearing the word God and saying that the spirit molecule is God, it adds up in senses and talking about us as human beings looking out into the world. Like, oh, we're human beings that have religion, that have this. And since we have religion and we have this things already going on, now this psychedelic has come along and it has taught us what there is to go on with the world. But it's so amazing the levels of the psychedelic experience or the experience of the psychedelic experience, how you can experience this and you can experience not even being a human being to begin with and being the human being or the tree or the grass or the rat or the mouse carrying the pizza. something like that, and you experience. So then, what does that mean for awareness and consciousness overall? Because with a lot of definite talk comes separation. Hey, this is God didn't create anything because God wouldn't create evil things. Why would God create evil, create greed, create jealousy? And those, um, not philosophical, philosophy. Yeah, I think it's philosopher. Those philosophers when you debate about philosophy a lot, like theories, debate about theories all the time. That's when those kind of things just kick in, and that can go forever and ever and ever. Theologians, the old theologians, they always having them theological. There it is, theological answers, theological debates. I had to say the whole phrase so it could come back to my being. Just Todd, just Todd, just Todd. Just think about these things, guys, if you may, and let me know what y'all tying on these kind of things as well, as we all part of the picture. And that's what I'm learning about experience, about how did you encounter what you are talking about. And it's going to be people that pop up to challenge you on what you're talking about all the time, even if it's your own child. Well, where did you learn that from? Who said it was supposed to be that way? And then you gotta think like, and then if you get in that loose enough state, you gotta be like, all right, now I'm in this loose state. Do I want to continue like this, or is like this an angel coming down to remind me of myself, or is it just like testing to see if I want to keep being like this, to see if I'm standing on shaky ground? And like, no, I'm not standing on shaky ground. It's like this because it is. Because what I said. So we all always testing each other. And the movie Evil, which I pointed out before, and I pointed out again and again because they started season 2, so it just keeps getting more interesting. Well, it's a show on Netflix. Start with season 1, if you may, and it brings the correlation of everybody's perspective into the viewpoint of like some kind of outside of observer. If you're looking with your eye, if you're really looking with your eye, y'all know the lingo. So, because they have, I said it before, they got the priest that take mushrooms because he wants to see God again. He starts seeing the spirits and stuff, and they even getting more loose with that word demon and what they call demon or not, because then they getting into jinns. And, you know, jinns are not always out there to hurt you. Sometimes they giving you information, but they might look like creepy as shit. So they getting real more in depth as the story develops. And because the other girl that's in there, that's his partner is a psychologist, and likes things to be broken down into psychologist definitions and terms. She's real good at that. And the other guy's the technical guy. He said, oh, it was a technical glitch, it was a short in the wire, or somebody play a high pitch frequency over top of a low pitch frequency with a subliminal message, and that's what was causing the girls to do these things. So it was all these play, but sometimes they be all getting suspected visions of like a spirit world. We'll call it a spirit world. All of them do at some point. So I like, why is wow, and they still be going into their own interpretations, but they dreams be the things that connect them to the spiritual world. But then with their interpretation of things, they love each other and they want to get the job done at times. So they play it out where they listening to each other. They don't wholeheartedly believe in each other, but still they be like, oh, they even themselves as time go on, the priest is asking, oh, so you're starting to believe now. And she be like, not so fast, not so fast. Even though she had a sleep paralysis demon on top of her, and she was learning how to lucid dream better so that she can be able to control that environment, so it wasn't so much of a fearful situation. Because the sleep paralysis demon, the sleep paralysis spirits and stuff like that, they not so bad. They terrifying, but it's because we're terrified in our actual life at those moments. It's things that we are out of control of. It's things in the show, as an example, it was saying things to him that wasn't not true. It was not true. He was actually feeling like that in a particular moment as the day was going through. Like he just didn't deal with it, pass it off in a certain way, so it popped up. And in the moment, I tie it as he didn't have that, felt like he had control in that moment. So in his dream, when it appeared like that, he don't got no control. He's paralyzed.
literally paralyzed. Oh man, he said I was being taught that this is a dream. Now he's getting better at it. He's getting better. So I was taught that this is a dream. He had some kind of alarm, so I can talk to his Siri, his version of Siri, and if it talks back, he knows that he's not in a dream. Like that's his test. So he's getting more adamant. So I love seeing the growth, and I'm seeing that in myself as well. Like I brought up before, I seen that person too after watching that show, and I conjured him up. He was in another room. I said, yo, and I just got in the giggity mode, like, yo, I knew that this was possible. I knew this was possible. And I opened the door, and they just all standing there, and it reminded me of a person in a costume, as opposed to something that's supposed to, like, rawr, rawr. I was like, yo, I summoned you, like, yo, this is lit. So, it's a lot of things that people term evil when they say God who, or use the term God, that I think stops us from experiencing a lot of things. And that's why I talk about, that's my fire for the moment. That's my fire for the moment. Is when the word God is used to limit you or yourself from things that you innately feel like you're able to perform or do. And when you see it in a cartoon or something, you're like, oh man, just laugh at, oh, that's that Bugs Bunny. That's that, I'll say I'm a fudge. Yeah, I'm a fudge too. That's that Peter Griffin. No, that's you. Bending reality, doing stuff, saying stuff in the moment that sometimes feel uncomfortable. That's what you want to do more often. Or that's how I feel when I'm doing it and what I experience. I'm like, I've seen that those was training grounds for emotions that I wasn't used to going forward with, or I was told to not really deal with, because you need to deal with just the goodness of and everything is pretty, pretty, pretty flowers. And don't get me wrong, I love flowers. I planted some flowers from seed in my garden. I would take pictures of flowers all the time. I learned to stop to smell the roses as time went on because I didn't used to smell. I used to say my sense of smell sucked. Now it's heightened like a mug. I love it. The whole new world. Whole new world of sense. Create new imaginations and everything. But that's not the full picture. Not the full picture. This part is part of the gigantic ism. The gigantic ism. So God who? God who or God what? Or God is. Just Ty, just Ty, just Ty. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll today. I actually do love to talk. And I had this all formulate. The vision was already given. Well, not given. The vision was already pictured. I worked it out. I wasn't about to do the show earlier because things was going on in the house, and the show's still going on too. It's not ending now, but things is going on. And I was in that struggle of like, I don't want to deal with this. I want to do the show. Like the show is what I gotta do. And circumstances just was playing out, and that was rowdy. That I couldn't just. It was out of my control, and it couldn't happen. But then the spark was like, I know that this is something that's good. I mean, something not good, not even good or bad, because some people gonna watch this and be mad as shit. But and that's still good too. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not even go down that road trying to say. But I was like, man, it feels good. It feels good to talk and to be here and to have and to connect some dots. And like I said, if y'all ever have some more dots y'all want to connect, let me know in all the comments and all the discords and everything. I know I ramble and I talk and I'm be connecting, but I'm always open for interpretation. But if the field is played like that, I will sit. I will sit on the stage and sing my heart out and keep on tying. I will keep going. Give me enough L's. Give me enough L's, and I'll put myself under a good spell. I was asking people in the Discord about Genjutsu, request of Genjutsu on themselves. And that's passing it. And then as soon as I was asking that, I saw somebody on the show Eva I was watching. They was going up the second floor, 13th floor, and if they saw the person looked in his eyes, which is how a Genjutsu is cast, it's an illusion, and then you in another world. You're in a whole nother world. So like I'm casting Genjutsus on myself from other planes, from other planes of existence. And it get confusing for a lot of people to hear those kind of things because you still see me running around or having issues here and there, but it's multiple. It's a fractalized reality. the fractal's reality. And as soon as you turn your head, you'll see what's there. Trust me. Trust yourself. Don't trust me. Trust yourself. The more you do, you'll start going on the path. Things start popping up. Dots start connecting. Dots start connecting like crazy. Like it's movies. Like say, oh, people saying, oh, I just started seeing numbers. Numbers starting to connect. Seeing 111, 222, 333. What does mean? Like this is new to me. This new reality. We moving to a new thing. Things is changing. And then I run across an old movie made in the early 2000s. For people I even knew about this, and other people gamble, and it was about numbers and people seeing numbers and stuff like that. And I think it was I Origin. I want to turn off because too much drama in it. Even though it was called a drama thriller, it was a little too much drama for me at the moment. But it was cool. It was cool in that aspect. What aspect? That has slipped my memory. Oh, the excitement, the rush, the vibes, the feels. It's all real. It's all real. Just move and operate. How you gonna move your sailboat? True, you have the choice of what we want to believe in. That's what I'm saying. We got the choice of what we wish to believe in, how we wish to operate around different people. The choices that we make is not the choice we make. I just say is not left up to something. It is. Everything is true because ah, because I was going to say that us everything we do is not left up to a higher force. But oh, oh, that's what I was going about the numbers. I'm sorry about that. I apologize about that. Or just let's look like this. Just the new pray symbol. but but yeah, the numbers and seeing the numbers, that was back in 2000. So it was people catching on to that vibe of seeing the synchronicities and stuff a long time ago. A long time ago. So it's always new thing. It's always moments in time or moments in consciousness or whatever word we choose to use where a being will pop up that becomes aware of a certain thing. Like we don't know what tree became aware of something amongst the other trees. And that's probably why they look a certain way compared to the other ones that we can't even recognize. Or some recognize and they call it a holy tree or something different. Or they try to clone it and say, oh, this tree is it. This is it right here. This tree got it. Like it's on to something. Or it is even rocks, anything. Everything is has a mission, has stuff going on where it's like a spark in the imagination, like how Terrence McKenna brought about the stone ape theory, or how they said it was existence of a certain humanoid, and they roamed the plains of Africa. And on the savannah, you see the mushrooms popping up, and then some of them tried this, and then they had different ideas than the other one. So I believe that nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is new. Nothing is new. And that's why I love history and us tying and talking about history, even if it's history from different dimensions that nobody ever heard before. That's I think somebody Marvel is a different dimension. Um Cartoon Network is a different dimension. Adult Swim is a different dimension. And most of us, like me, I was a kid lucky enough. They play the bell, ding, ding, play that frequency. And then back in the day, they would say adult. They had the megaphone, adults only, and they would show this freaking swimming pool and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's getting interesting. And then you see what Adult Swim introduced you to all these out of bounds way of thinking, as opposed to if you grew up in like this kind of structured religious household, it introduced you to these wild outbound ideas. And some people call it an angel, and some people call it a demon, and some people call it the isness, like everything else. God. Adult Swim is God. Rick and Morty is God. They taught me so much. They taught me about dimension and about how to get over stuff and emotions I never processed. Gave me examples and lived a life. It gets so topsy turvy and intricate and very very interesting. And that's all I got for today, guys. Oh, that's all I got for today, everyone. I appreciate everyone for coming on through and just tying. Exile 13 and everybody that popped on through while we was going live. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the next episode. It's gonna be amazing. Gonna have some guests popping in. Hey Blue Bottle. Hey Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. I I'm gonna check out Blue Bottle Bunny Farm YouTube channel and an awesome person. Been a long time. Long time. I'm happy to see your profile picture. Your essence, bring your essence into the Psy Tai Podcast. Thank you. Thank you. An African 2102. Oh, you way in the future. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming to this time. But yeah, I'm gonna take all of this. I'm working on the website with the art and everything. Everything is going as it should. As it should. It's gonna be awesome. So tying on out of here. I was talking about interviews. I'm gonna have somebody on that I had. I posted a short, and she was talking about doing DMT on the pyramids with her open eye visuals because she wanted to see everything, kept her eyes open. I asked her in the comment like, "Hey, you gotta come on the show and stuff and talk." And she said, "Hey, I'm happy to be on. I'll be happy." So I'm gonna contact her again, have her on that one-on-one interview and things like that. And King Guys is talking about getting business people on that got small businesses. So I'm gonna have him on here to talk about his businesses. And I'm gonna be on here his show, talk about what's going on the Thai side. So thank you. Thank you. Adios. I'm gonna keep rambling. This is adios. Straight cut.